Dit is hartstikke awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Let's do this, guys. Hope everyone is staying safe and doing well. We are having lots of flooding right now where I am at. Been storming and raining all day. I thought we were done with that, but no, it's getting worse. So apparently there's a couple of trees down. So I'll have an interesting trip home. So I'm not sure
Jump
where
in the chat where you guys are at. Are you guys safe? What's it like where you guys are at? Because out here, this is fine.
Right.
And nothing
Right.
out
We
here.
just got a lot of storms. There were some tornado warnings and things, but then tonight was we got another end of it. But lots of my family in Greenville, South Carolina had issues. They just got their power back yesterday. Several friends in Spartanburg area. Asheville, North Carolina got hit really bad. So it's the western part of North Carolina and of the southeast that got hit really bad.
What's this hurricane
Say
called?
again?
What's this hurricane called?
Helen, but there's another E at the end.
What?
Yeah, so like there's Helen, but with another E. So it's like HELENE. Something like that. Yeah.
They could
what
have
I've
done
seen.
something better.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but you know what? It's funny. Like, remember, like so insiders, just before we jumped on, Jeff and I were talking about that. And it's so funny because when your area of the country is not affected by this stuff, you completely block out the fact that this is a thing.
Right.
And I'm over here, like, it's like, crazy good weather. It's like 82, no clouds in the sky. Like, we're just hanging, right? And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That's right. My dad just moved to Central Florida, which is nutty to begin with. Can't even believe that's a thing. Right. But yeah. And so I had to call him up. I had to FaceTime him just before we jumped on the show. I'm like, hey, are you underwater? No, he's good. He's in a good area, I guess. He said he's completely fine. So
that's cool. Yeah, it hit the other side, right? Than a lot of times it normally does. So
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's been kind of crazy. Lots of things going on in Tennessee, Georgia. I know several friends, basements flooded, things like that.
Yeah.
So lots going down, like in South Carolina, I think there were several homes, in karate schools that their roofs, flew off. So been kind of crazy.
I'm assuming there's probably a lot of karate schools where the roofs just weren't fantastic, and now their schools are completely soaked. I would totally see that. But you know what's funny though? And listen, when you're on the East Coast, which is the majority of the insiders, I get that. I understand that, right? You are aware of all of these storms, and they are like, all right, this is a storm. Boom. It's a big deal. It's Helene, whatever this is, right? When you're not there, sometimes you just get used to like, oh yeah, there's another one, but it doesn't affect you. So you're like, you don't even remember. I couldn't even tell you what the last one was. Right. So I have no idea, but like when it's on the West Coast, like if anything happens to the West Coast, I feel like it's like, it is usually pretty disastrous. It's usually an earthquake, right?
Yeah.
But for those in the Midwest, especially this area of the northern Midwest, we don't get disastrous things that often. We don't. We get a tornado every now and then.
Right.
Yeah, but snow, that's like almost scheduled. You know what I mean? And really, honestly, I'm going to tell you this. The snow, not that bad. It's not that bad. The worst snow, the worst snow that we had all year? It was the weekend of AKA. 100%. That was the
Yeah.
worst. So if anybody's like, I'm never going to Chicagoland area, look at the snow is horrible. It was literally that, and that was it. And like, I have a snow plow or like a snow blower, like a snow thrower. I haven't even used it, which is crazy to think that I live here and I haven't really used it because I'm like, listen, I could just shovel this stuff really quick and just be done with it, and I do, and I'm done.
Listen, one of my gifts to my nephew last year was this really cool like sled, and then it didn't snow at all. So I felt really bad. It's like I was like, I told you it was, like we got to give him something else. I know this is a cool thing, but who knows that we're going to get this snow that we think we're going to get, because it never happens. So, all right, speaking of snow and storms, it's going to be a big storm.
Right, Leandro.
At K-Talk Nationals. It's going to be a big tournament, and we are excited. 4-0, go Vikings. We are excited to have them as a sponsor on Inside Scoop and the Martial Arts Center Network. So K-Talk has done a lot of great things for the sport, and a lot of just their tournament has been a huge vibe, a huge push for that New York City area. And they are joined up with USA Sport Karate this year. As always, also that we haven't mentioned, they are always like the first qualifier right after WKC Worlds for WKC the next year. So great time to go ahead, and go ahead and get your regional qualifier in right then. It's a great tournament to go and compete at, with lots of different levels of competition, and fighting, forms, everything. And it's action packed, man.
You know what I like about the WKC and the qualifiers is they have these tournaments right across in different regions. WKC doesn't want the tournament to do anything different. They're like, no, don't mess up your system, right? Keep doing you. You got a good thing going. Keep doing you, right? But we would like this to be a qualifier towards going to the national championships. Now, the national championships, that's a little different, right? You have to do it this way. So if your regional tournament does 2-point kicks to the body, go ahead, do 2-point kicks to the body. But when you go to nationals, it's not the way that goes, Maybe it'll change at some point. Who knows? But I kind of like how inviting it is. Like the WKC and WACO, they're very different. WACO is their rule book. It's like an encyclopedia. Like, boom, here you go. And WKC is like, come on, man. We want everybody to be a part of this. We don't have to do every 2 years thing. We'll do this thing every year. It's great. We could do it. Let's do it. Right? What? Am I oversimplifying this?
No, I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, there's so many right now. So, I mean, but yeah, I agree that I like the way it's set up. There are some events that I feel like should be considered super regionals.
Yeah, I think they have some. I don't know. They do have some.
I don't know if K-Talk is a super regional. I'll have to get that information to share about next week, or maybe we'll. But I know that one that I feel like should be is Rhode Island. You got a big NASCAR tournament like that with seeds already. That should be a super regional. But and yes, Anthony Price, we will be talking to you soon, sir. I hope all is well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so K-Talk, get ready, guys. It's going to be a great one, and we're going to talk more about them later on in our new segment. So, all right. So our topic for today is international competitions, and we're going to bring on one of our main gang members. Hold on. Let me check to see how he's doing, if he ended up winning that or not, before I bring him on. Let's see. No, he got his butt whooped. All right. Sorry, man. Talking about fantasy. Dude, I thought you
beat me last week.
Yeah, he beat you last week in fantasy. So hey, this you got 2 wins. That's pretty good, for you.
Hey, listen, man. Let me tell you something. I messed up when I drafted Tua. That was like that, and then I just picked up CJ Fields like 2 days before it was Sunday, and I didn't start him. He had like 30 points. I was like, this is nuts.
Right.
I didn't. Terrible.
Well,
Terrible.
dude, I was supposed to beat Jackson by like a ton of points, and right now I'm losing. And there's no way, like everybody who like Josh Allen only got 7 points from me yesterday.
Bro,
Cook
it's
only
bad.
got 5 points, and Flowers only got 2 points. Like, what the heck?
It's bad.
So-
Listen, let me tell you something. I was overseas, and me and Speedy were watching the Philadelphia game because I needed Saquon to go off, and thank God he did because I needed him to go off. So,
But
Dude,
yo,
like,
it's just like Jackson said, like in our fantasy football group chat. You know, we were joking about like who's going to be at the Diamonds, who's not going to be there, and he made a little joke like, "You don't even know who's going to be healthy on Sunday."
yeah, that is actually
Right.
very true.
Facts.
Very true.
It's true.
Very true.
Right now, it's literally a battle between our defenses for who wins this game. And it's so bad right now. Now his team started out pretty good, but I don't know, man. It's
I
just
think I
wild.
was supposed to. Did I have Troy this week? I don't know if I had Troy this week, but all I know is I think at first the projections I was supposed to beat him. I looked, it was like 90,
you were.
It was like 90 to like 20. I was like, what is going? There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
I was playing Troy. Yeah. I'm done.
Yeah.
I lost bad.
Everybody had to replace so many people this week because everyone's hurt. It's insane.
It was so bad, and
Facts.
I didn't start CJ Fields, and then that like bit me.
Yeah.
Well, wait, that's not as bad as didn't I picked up Juan Jennings last week,
Yeah.
who was like the fantasy player of the week,
Yep.
and didn't start him.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
What did I
You
leave
know
like
what-
40 some points on the bench?
listen, you know what else is bad? It's bad when you have because who had the first pick this year?
Roy.
Troy,
I
and
think he did. Let me go
I
look.
think he got Christian McCaffrey. And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like,
Yeah, and he's
hasn't even played.
Yeah.
Hasn't played at all. And
Yeah.
I was like,
His first
I
two
would-
picks are on IR.
yeah. So I was so happy that I had second pick because my first pick was Saquon. So it worked out for me.
Be honest though, you knew that was risky too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Saquon,
I
as
was
talented
hoping-
as he is, he doesn't
listen,
last.
Well, even still, right now, I'm just hoping he gets me halfway through the season, and at least to get a couple wins. That's all I need.
I got another shout out before we shout out AP for WMAC. Go Raiders. We got another win. Go
Yeah.
Raiders.
Hey,
AP. Got another win, baby.
AP was watching the game also while we were watching the Philadelphia game. He was watching the Raiders game, and we were just talking so much trash to him.
Bro, got to, man. Got to turn things around. Got to turn things around.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about, man. So you got back last week from
Yeah.
the Czech Republic, man. So tell us about the WMAC World Games. You guys had a good crew from the States that went out there. And tell us about the experience.
Yeah, who was all there?
So, in terms of like the main people that I could like rattle off right off the top of my head,
Sure, that's
we
good
had-
enough.
Yeah, we had. So obviously we had AP, Noreen, his wife, Sierra Johnson, and Sierra and Noreen. That's the president and the co-president or vice president, right? Then after that, you had Justin Johnson, Speedy. You also had Soke Campbell. Then after that, you had Skia. Skia went with his son and Anthony Tate from their school. Derek Brown from Brian Arrington's school went. And Calvin, he does like kick light and continuous. He went from their school also. Clarissa Villanueva went. Joey went. Joe De Hoyos, I think is his last name, if I'm correct. Then we also had some students from Justin Johnson's school, so some of the juniors. Annabelle Alcorn, she went from Team Army. Keely, Katana, Angel Vickery, Chris Vickery. And there's some of the juniors that I didn't really know their names. It was like my first time seeing them. But, you know, we had like a good group in terms of forms, weapons, fighting, kick light, everybody. I mean, it was a well-rounded group that we had.
Yeah, I know there's a guy from Michigan, Joseph Bruschi. I think he won.
Yeah, Joseph Bruschi.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it because I literally, like I said, I saw him Sunday because that's when they did all the forms and weapons and the Kumite stuff. So I got to see him.
That's cool. Awesome,
Yeah.
man. Awesome. All right. So tell us about your experience. All right. First, tell us about going to the Czech Republic. All right. Because, what was that like?
So I'll be honest, bro. This is my first time ever going to Europe. This is my first international competition, my first time representing USA. So
this
it was
is your first time in Europe in general.
In general, ever. Never went over there.
That's
So it was I'm glad I prepared well for like the flight and everything. So we all met at JFK. So everybody from like all across the Midwest, everybody met at JFK. For me, it was easy. That's just an hour and a half drive. So I went right after work. I got right to the airport. We all flew out together. So it was about 55 of us on that plane that all went out there. So we got there. It was I want to say a 7.5 hour flight. So we flew out at 8:30 at night, and we didn't land till 10 a.m. the next day. Because they're also 7 hours ahead of us. So like whatever time that would have been, I think it would have been like 5 o'clock or something like that, or 4 o'clock our time. It was like 10:30 a.m. on a Wednesday. I was fine. I slept for like 5 hours, which I was real happy about because I was worried I was gonna stay up the whole flight. But other people, I heard they stayed up. It was some crazy stuff, but flying out was good, man. Once we landed, it took us forever to get through customs because there's 55 of us, so everyone's at different points in the line. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. AP, Noreen, like they all got to kind of go to the front, and I just walked right behind them, and I just said, "I'm their grandson."
Stop! No, you did not.
I swear, as AP will tell you right now, he's walking and he goes, "Come on!" And everyone was like, "Should we walk with them?" I said, "I don't know about you guys. I'm not waiting in this line. I'll walk with them." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm their grandson." Like,
why did you say grandson? Why didn't you just say like son? They're not that much older.
Let's just call it like it is. They're not. Let's call it like it is, though. Look at me. If I say son, they're gonna be like, I don't know, grandson. They might be okay. That works.
Why don't you say like nephew or something?
That's the best thing we came up with in the moment. We said that. So we went. Getting through customs took a minute. Right when we landed, I gotta give it up to Sierra and Noreen. Like they literally had everything so spot on. Right when we landed, we had a whole entire coach bus for the team that took us to the hotel.
Yeah,
and brought us right over there, which was so cool. We were about an hour away from the airport. So Prague is the capital. We're about an hour away. We're in a smaller town. I think it was called Komatov was the name of the way how they said it. So we went over there. No, Komatov, not Kumite.
Oh,
no.
We were like, wow, that's fitting.
So we went over there, and Wednesday, Wednesday we really just all got settled in. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I took a nap. I swear to God, I took a nap at like 4 p.m. I woke up. It was 11 o'clock at night, and it was dark, and there was nothing open. I was like, this. It took a minute for me to adjust. And then the next day, we ended up we had weigh-ins on Thursday. So we had weigh-ins in the morning. That was like official, man. I got to go see the sports arena. Like that arena was pretty big. It was the whatever their professional basketball team it is that they had in that like city or town. It was that arena that we used. So I got to go see that. Go ahead, Alex.
I was about to say something bad about.
No, don't.
But no. Czechs actually they're actually pretty good.
Yes. I mean, listen. I went there. We got to walk around. That place was huge. It had two sides. So it had one side where it was just for the competition, and then it had like a back side, like a second basketball floor behind it, and that's where all like the competitors could warm up and everything. So that was pretty.
Do you ever have these thoughts sometimes where you're like, I mean, yeah, you guys are professionals, but I could probably make this team.
Well, listen, I don't. Listen,
do you ever have those thoughts? I'm just curious.
I didn't see nobody. Listen, with the way people are over there, they were super tall. So I don't know if I'm extremely small over there, and I'm like about 6 feet. Everybody was like 6'5". It didn't matter who you were. It was
Wow.
nuts to me.
Strange that like do you guys still have the Nephilim giants just like roaming around outside the city limits? Or what's
I
going on?
couldn't believe like how tall people were. So
Oh,
we had a
man.
weigh in at 10:30 a.m. That was like official. I mean, they had a scale. They wouldn't even let you go to pay for your registration if you didn't make weight. So that was like really, really official.
But wait, what if you didn't make weight?
You only had an
Do they
hour.
let you go into a different weight class, or like that's it? Too
It's
bad,
up
so
to
sad.
you either, but see, this is the rule. So for WMAC, especially for fighting, you can
Yeah.
only have 2 representatives per division. So if you already had 2 representatives in your division and you missed your weight, then you have to either cut the weight or it's over and done for you. Like you got that trip all the way out there to not fight.
I mean, that's
And
pretty
that's-
official. I feel like
Yeah. And so what happened was
something.
you had an hour.
Eventually, someone's got to have to be really official. So that's
Yeah.
good.
So that's how, and they made it like super strict, especially because they had ring sports. They couldn't give.
Yeah, they
leeway.
don't mess around, and
No,
you don't want
so-
them to mess around in ring sports.
Not at all. So if you didn't make weight, you only had like I think like an hour and a half to make weight, and then if you didn't make it your second time, you would have to re-weigh in again on Friday, but you have to pay a fee for re-weighing in.
Got it.
So
All
like
right.
everybody
I like the
everybody
officialness,
got
man.
theirs. Everybody got theirs super on point. Actually, I got this right here. This is our like passbook. So you needed this to go. Anytime you're gonna go to any more of these, this has a stamp. So inside of it, it has a stamp with our. So this tells you how many worlds you
That's
go
how
to.
WKA used to do it too.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then on it, it also has like your physical. It's gonna have everything on it. You could like, it's gonna talk about all your matches you've won. So like that's like important moving forward. Like I said, like everything was just so spot on official. Before we even got on the mats, it was so official. I couldn't even. It was ridiculous, man.
So it's like your tournament circuit passport.
Kind of, and it's like documents all your
Kinda
fights.
cool.
It's gonna have your record. It'll have everything in it. So if I go to any other WMAC events, I need this passbook, and it's gonna like serve as like kind of like my membership, and they have to make sure like I'm an official member to compete at the World Games. So
I like
that was
that.
good. That night we ended up having
Right, Phil.
the opening ceremonies, which was crazy. I mean,
Tell me about it.
so the opening ceremony was cool. It was outside. They had 33 countries there, and I think we're one of the biggest countries, if not the biggest. I want to say I think England had probably might have been bigger than us. They had a bunch of people. So, but we were there. Well, we ended up walking in. Everybody chants USA and everything. But they had like performances for us. They had like someone singing, and the person that sang like a song in their language, in like Czech language, and sang like an American song, which was actually kind of cool. Which I was actually that was pretty cool.
What song did they sing in an American song? Did they sing?
We were number 5 on side. Thanks, Sierra. Sierra, man, you always got me. Thank you so much. What song is it? Honestly, I can't remember now. It was a song like I can't.
Come on,
because it was
like a patriotic song or something.
No. It was like a club song. But yeah, I swear to you, it was like
What?
I swear to God. So
Oh,
we had
right.
that. Then after
They
that,
sing their national anthem and then they sing, "I wanna make love in this club."
Well, thank God you said an Usher song and not a Diddy song.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what?
Oh my gosh.
So after that, they brought up all the presidents on stage. Terry Kramer
That's cool.
and a few of our USA representatives. They ended up doing a demonstration on stage, which was actually super cool to watch. And actually, if I'm correct, I think Terry Kramer wore the old school Waco top, the Stars and Stripes, which I thought was so cool the whole weekend. When I saw AP have his, I thought it was so cool the whole weekend. That was to me was dope. So they had a good one. Then they had fireworks for us. I mean, it was crazy. Then that was a great experience. And then Thursday was when we started the tournament. And I gotta say, in all seriousness, in terms of the professionalism, I've never been to a tournament that was so well ran. I'm saying on time to the dot. So let's say if my fights, let's say they started at 1:30 and it was 1:29 and everyone was in the ring ready to go, they would not start until it hit 1:30 on the dot. They would make sure you're ready and they would throw their hand and say fight right at 1:30. They had 6 judges for every.
Wow.
They had 6 judges for every ring. So if you had to go pee, if you had to eat, whatever, they would switch you out, and the ring never stopped. It always kept going. You did not stop until all your divisions were done. Like I said, I've never seen that before.
I gotta hear, how did the 6 judges go?
So
they used 3 judges for the actual judging, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Smart move.
2 judges on the outside, and 1 judge was an arbitrator, and that would change every single time.
What did the 2 judges? What did the 2 judges on the outside do? They're just watching, facilitating, overseeing,
sitting there watching, waiting and seeing. And they would ask every round, "Do you need a break? Do you need a break? Do you need a break?" In case someone had to go do something, they would step right in. Because I say that because I'm pretty sure in one of my fights I had a set of judges, and then the next fight, like, 1 judge changed, which some people would make a big deal out of it, but I didn't make a big deal because they were already there at the ring anyway. So they're watching the ring. It's not like we're getting a random person. They already know the cadence. They know how the ring is flowing. So it's not, you have nothing to argue about. And I guess I kind of like the fact that, like, you didn't have a bunch of judges from the same country. We had like 1 American representative, someone from Germany, someone from Austria, and that was it. So now there's really no bias to any sense. I like that. It ran well. So we did that. When they did the fighting, the one thing I will say that they did have is they started from the heaviest and worked their way to the bottom. So it was 90+ kilogram first, all the way down.
In 1 ring.
And 1 ring was just the point fighting, and that's all they did. And
how long would you say that took?
That probably took, in total with everything, it probably took maybe an hour and a half most. Wow. Ask AP's in the chat. He will tell you I'm saying AP was running from ring to ring. He just kept running.
Yo,
crazy. That's nuts.
That sounds not only efficient but stressful.
It's not. I would think so, because I was at one point. So originally, I was gonna do minus 75 kilograms, and I was like, "Oh, that's in the middle of the pack, fine." Then, they put me in minus 80 kilograms because we didn't have a second representative, and they said, "Angel, it's your choice if you want to do it or not." And I was like, "Well, I already paid a hefty price to fight out here, so I'm gonna fight everything I can. I'm gonna go ahead and do it." So I did it, and because I did that, it literally, like, minus 90 finished in maybe 20 minutes. Then they had minus 85 finished in maybe 20 minutes, and I was right minus 80. And I was like, holy God.
I see that, but that's the stressful part. That's the part that I would think would be stressful. Like, what? Like, you win your round and you go, and you're fighting again.
Hey, and guess what AP says? That's why you gotta be in shape.
Well, that's right. He's not wrong. And if anybody's going to tell you the truth, it's definitely AP. You're 100% right on.
AP says it to you straight. You got to be in shape.
Oh, yes, whether you like it or not.
The one thing
sometimes you don't.
I cut. Yeah, some people don't like it. I got yelled at when I was over there one time during a fight. So I know. But listen, I got to say, man, like, I liked it. I didn't mind it because, as a team, we got there. Let's say we started at 1:30 or 1 o'clock was when we started. At 12 o'clock, the whole team went over there and we started warming up together. And, like, we moved as a team. And then after that, we went straight over to the ring. And when we went straight to the ring, we were just rolling through. And AP's right. Some rings, some divisions had 4 to 6 guys. Some divisions had 8 to 10. But you ran them back to back. Like, they didn't give many breaks.
And that might sound to some listeners like, 4 to 6 guys in a division. Oh, that's not really a lot. But what I think if someone's thinking that, you're not understanding that to even get here, there needed to be a qualification. Like, this is the best of the best. There's no two ways about it. This is it. Right. So if there's 4 guys, if it's 5 guys, if it's 6 guys, if it's 8 guys, they're the best that there is in the world.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of them, I'm gonna tell you, man, I swear to you, I felt like everybody in every division was like 6'5" and up. And that's not even an exaggeration. I'm saying the minus 90, okay, that was probably the biggest dude there. He was like 6'7". All the way down to like the minus 60, I think Speedy was fighting someone that was like 6'2" or something.
Oh man,
like
these guys from Liechtenstein.
even
They get up there.
even when
I'm not. That sounds funny, but it's true.
But yeah, it was like the best of the best people. And when I will say it was ran efficiently, the one thing I did like is everything was called pretty fair. There's like all the way through. Everything was like they called front hand body jab, which we all know they're gonna call, right?
Yeah.
But like they called it pretty consistent the whole entire time. There's not like some that were and some that weren't. Yeah, Justin was the smallest person, and Justin is like I think taller than me.
Well, let's also let's just talk about culture for a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
When in terms of that, because what you've been talking about, like, man, everybody's so tall.
Crazy.
We in the continental US, in the States, we have the bulk, the base, the thickness.
Yeah.
We have more of that. And yeah, we can eat some stuff. All right. I'm very good at that. Okay. But we all listen, I was just dreaming about food earlier today. Right? It was deep dish pizza, pepperoni and giardiniera. I'm telling you.
That's fun. That's funny.
But I tell you what though, it doesn't always work to our advantage, because the biggest Angel, you step in on this as soon as I say this comment. Some of the biggest difference is not the rules, like the body jab. Is there a sweep? Is it 1 point each way? Is it 1 point kick? That stuff. If you jump, you get an extra point. The rules aren't really the biggest issue. It's how the game is actually fought.
Yes.
Our contact level that we are used to is so much higher than what their contact is going to be. And because their contact, like the level of contact that they have is so much lighter, it allows them to be so much quicker. Because we have so much more contact, it actually is more taxing on our bodies, and it does wear us down, right? So they don't have that. So they can be a lot quicker and lighter on their feet and ready the next time around. Jump in.
Go ahead. I was just going to say that, but what you mostly are talking about, Alex, is Waco style fighting. You know, like when I've sent people to, WKU, WKC,
WKU and WKC is that's a little different.
Yeah, like that they were hitting that, like the contact was intense.
Yeah, they have a lot more. That's true. You're right.
Let you hit old school, right? There were some issues with, Terry Kramer's fight last year, with some really unprofessional type things going on, right? So I want to know what it's like though, the style of fighting at WMAC.
That's what I thought I'd tell you. So actually, I'm going to answer both of those. Alex, we actually got called, and I myself got called for contact like twice. And there was somebody, so Derek Brown from Brian Aronson's school, he's fighting his first fight, and he's down by 2 points. He needs 2 points to tie, and it was like 2 seconds. He starts pumping a side kick, and the German fighter rolled to the side of the ring. Derek back leg roundhouse kicked him, almost knocked him out cold. Right? They were about to say
awesome.
They were about to say no call. And AP's like, that's the cleanest hit you have. Right? So one thing I like is they adapt Waco rules. They picked him up, they shook his hands, and they gave him an 8 count. So in Waco rules now, if you can't answer the 8 count, you lose by TKO, and the person wins. He answered the 8 count. He ended up losing in the next, because they had to do an extra minute of overtime. He ended up losing. Derek fights another fighter from Switzerland, and Derek just did a side angle to just like a right cross. Wobbled him. They tried not to give him the point again because the contact level is they want it so that it's strictly point fighting. It has to be like touch go, right? I'm fighting a person from England, and they would take off the line, but because they took off so far, I would kind of throw like my check hook or like a ridge hand. They said because my elbow went vertical, it doesn't count as a point. And I was like, all right, like I think the biggest thing is you have to, if you're a fighter, you will adapt to the rules. And then to Jeff, what you were saying was, what's the style like? It was very much Waco style. I found out after a lot of the guys that we fought are Waco champions, have either represented Waco at some point or are really big ITF champions. And as you know, Jeff, ITF and Waco over there, they're almost synchronous to a certain point. So
especially in the light contact.
Kick light and light contact. So I fought a lot of those guys. It was Waco style. It was nothing short of that. And I noticed at one point that I had to just get my punch out first, because as long as I got my punch out first and I had good timing, I was gonna get the point. I was fine. I didn't have to worry about the follow up so much, because also one thing else that worked to our advantage was they, up until the final match, everything was 1 2-minute round. And that worked to our advantage, because what I said was, I was like, so now you're in a NASCAR fight. You don't know pressure the way I'm going to put pressure. You don't know pressure the way I'm going to put pressure. So AP is coaching me at one point, and AP said, this boy has been fighting 3 divisions in a row. I need you to show him what a young man's game is like. And I want to give a lot of credit to Ski Allison, because Ski helped me out a lot over there. He was coaching me a lot with AP, and Ski's coaching was on point. At one point, Ski told me, he said, every time you get to the line, take off. He's going to walk back to the line. Be ready and take off. That right there was like 4 or 5 points right off the line. And then from there, I can then move. I can do footwork. And then I can play the game of, now I can body jab you if you're going to get close. That would be my way.
He's fantastic. He's like brother knowledge.
Ski is a ridiculous mind. And I'm telling you guys right now, I've never trained with Ski. Me and Ski never even really had conversations, right? We went over there. I asked him if he could coach me if AP's not around. AP and him would switch. And at one point, AP was like, Ski, you got him. He's listening. Me and Ski had like chemistry. Like, we've been training together for years. I mean, he can call something out and I'll just do it right away. But the style was very much Waco style in terms of our individuals. We had over 1,700 competitors at that tournament. That's with ring sports, with point fighting, with kick light, with everything, with forms and weapons. The one thing I can say is that Americans, I think as a whole, I think we only didn't win 2 individual divisions, and that's only because we weren't in those divisions. That was the only reason why. I think, and even with juniors, our juniors all got to podium. I think we had Anthony Tate from a skier school, and where he trains with Dallas. He fought juniors, won the world championship, and went into adults and won the world championship for adults also.
Nice.
So in terms of like the fighting, in terms of like the individual fights and the competitors, I mean, Americans podiumed all the way through. And we really showed our dominance, man. It was crazy. But I will say though, like, when I did my divisions, I can just talk about for me personally, because I did 2 divisions. I did the -80 first. So I think I had 2 fights and I had them back to back. I did the final fight was a 2-round match. I won. AP came over to congratulate me, and they were already saying, Angel, you got 1 minute. You're the first fight for -75. And I had to fight right away.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that sounds stressful to me.
To me, again, because of so at first I looked at them and I was like, all right. And I just kind of like took a deep breath, drank my water, and AP and Ski came over to me. They said, there's no pain, no pain. You're fine, no pain. And I got in the ring and I just did it again.
Look at it like pain. I would be annoyed. I would be so annoyed. It would make me want to go, pipe down, son. I'll be there when I'm there.
The one thing that got me, I thought was interesting, I fought 8 times in a row. Between me winning both divisions, I fought 8 times in a row, and 2 of those fights were 2 2-minute rounds. So I I was, because when Dallas fought, I think one of the guys that Dallas was supposed to fight, he bowed out because he fought all the other divisions. He bowed out, and then Dallas had 1 fight, and then next thing I know, I fought. They gave me a break. I fought again. Then they gave me a break, and then I fought for the final. And I was like, dude, like this is like 8 times in a row. But personally, I felt good though. In terms of like conditioning wise, I didn't feel like my legs were heavy. I didn't feel super drained. I felt fine.
Did you feel like you could continue to kick the same all the way through?
Yeah. So right there, so that's that Sean Elliott training. Me and Sean. So for people that don't know, Master Sean Elliott and Gina Thornton, that's like the camp I come from. Like, they've been training me for like the past 3 years now. and like they really put a lot of time into me. And I go there a lot. Like Jeff knows, I'm probably down there like once a month, if not twice a month, if I could. But we trained and we did a lot of like training to make sure I don't get tired, make sure I can still kick, I can still do everything at the same efficiency from the beginning to the end. We like drilled a lot of that. So I got to give a lot of props, man, to like Master Elliott and Gina Thornton, because without them, man, like I wouldn't have even been able to go over there like that. And that was all just the Friday stuff. Once we hit to Saturday, I got some crazy stories on Saturday for you guys. Cause
let's hear about. Yeah, let's hear about the team.
Let's
what
get
that's
right into
like,
that.
so that way we can understand that, and then we do want to get into Flanders and what's happening, international fighting with Bailey and Enrique and those guys. So all right.
For teams, we went in on Saturday. All they had for us as point fighting was teams and open weight, which is grand champion. Teams was first. So we had 3-man teams, which USA put in 2 teams, and then we had mixed teams, which we put in a team. So we had USA Red and I think USA Blue. USA Red was me, Sergio, and Justin. And then USA Blue was Derek Brown, Anthony Tate, and Dallas Allison. So we actually ended up, at first, nobody was registered for teams. It was just 2 USA teams. I guess after what happened on Thursday, nobody wanted to register, which I was like, dude, are you like, because we like, listen, man, AP, everybody's in this. We dominated every division, juniors, females, I mean, Katana, Keeley, everybody was firing on all cylinders. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, it got to a point that, like, if as much as we were all not on the same team in America, when we went over there, literally, like, we were by each other's rings, had each other's backs the whole way through. So, like, by the time we went for teams, we didn't think we had any teams. Last second, Austria put in a team. I swear to God, it was like an all-heavyweight team. All the guys were 6'5" and up. They had the guy that won the 90-plus kilogram. He was like 6'7". They had a person that fought the veterans division, but he's the national coach for Austria for the Waco team. He went to that tournament also. Now, the national coach, he's probably like 35, 36. That dude was like 6'5", and he moved like he was 18, it was crazy to see. And then they had another guy that was like 6'4", and I was like, this is nuts. So when we did teams, we found out we had a team. USA Red, which was Justin, Sergio, and I, we had them first. It was tag team though. It wasn't just regular 3-man teams. It was tag team, and it was so tag annoying. Team. But it wasn't your typical tag team rules. We kind of got told the rules right when we got there, so we're like, whatever, we'll fight. It was once you tag someone out, you could not re-enter them in for that round.
What?
So we had
like true, like really true, like tag, dude. I need you. I'm actually done.
Yes. So what happened was they had the ring, right? You picture a square.
You could exploit that rule so easily.
We had 2 corners. So at each corner we had our fighters, and then they had their fighters.
But you got to tag. You got to tag once. I'm assuming you have to.
You got to tag once.
So you can totally exploit this.
You don't have to use all 3. We thought we had to use all 3, so at one point we were just tagging each other in, and then we found out. I think I said something to AP, and this is when AP yelled at me. He hit me on the head. He said, "You need to listen, focus." And I was like, "But they're not using all 3 fighters. Why are they only using 2 fighters?" And he was like, "We'll beat them anyways." And we ended up getting down to it.
Such an AP thing to say.
Yeah, listen, that was
we'll beat them anyway.
Match. That was a back and forth match. I ended up fighting like the 90-kilogram person, I swear, like 15 times on Saturday. Straight, 15 times. That's not even an exaggeration. The other guy that was like the coach, I think I fought him like 4 times or 6 times in a row. We ended up getting down to like the last 2 seconds. So I think I went up. We had 10 seconds left. I put us up. And then the 6'7" dude kicked my shoulder. I swear he kicked my shoulder, and they said it hit my head. So with 2 seconds left, they went up 2. They went up 1 point. It was 29-28. So I looked at AP, and AP said, "You know you're staying in." I said, I told him, I said, "I'm going to get us the point. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry. I'm going to get us the point." And I think I blitzed right off the line, and I got us a point, and we went into overtime. We did an extra minute. I think I tied it up again, and then we went into like next point wins, and then we lost. Which, I mean, listen, to be honest with you, we lost on a call that was 50-50. We had Justin Johnson in, and I was happy to have him in because, like, I was like, he's been in that position so many times. He fights overseas a bunch. So I was like, let him go. That's a moment that he knows what it feels like. And honestly, it was like a back and forth call. It could have went either way. And we ended up losing 31-32. And then Austria fought the next USA team for the gold medal match, and I think they beat them by like 1 point also. So we ended up getting third. The other USA team got second. Austria got first. I'm gonna be honest with you, like it bothers me. I look at the bronze medal every day, and I told everybody we're coming back next year and we're taking gold. That doesn't sit well with me. So, but the good thing was, I think we needed that because it's our first year in WMAC. And, we start from the ground up, like anybody. You gotta start from the bottom. Like look at Waco USA. It was the first time they won teams last year. It starts with a building block, and then we move forward. Then we had mixed teams. Mixed teams was me, Katana, Keely, and Derek Brown, and that was just unfair. We fought Wales.
Well, wait a minute. Speaking of unfair, it can't get out of my head. This rule of this tag team.
It was 3 rounds. So
it's so exploitable. All right.
Yeah. Wow.
It's so exploitable. Can't you just go, let's take a conversation. We just kind of look at the landscape and go, okay, Angel Diaz is better than everyone here. Cool. Okay. That's what we got. Whoever you're on a team, and it doesn't freaking matter who your teammate is. It doesn't matter because they're going to bow in. Teammate A, all right, bows in, say, go. They tag you immediately. And there you go.
The whole time. Yeah, I know. Listen, at one point, I felt like I was fighting for like a minute and 45 seconds. I think I tagged because I had to. Because AP was like, Angel, I need you to tag. I was like, whatever. I didn't tag unless AP told me to tag. So because he was like literally, him and Terry were like directing us the whole time.
How am I not the only person who thought? I mean, like the moment you said the rule,
again,
my mind went there immediately.
Because they told when they told USA, they told us we had to use all 3 people. So we were under that assumption.
Even if that's the case, don't you just do the same thing, but just tag one more time?
Tag, and then do But this is the issue though. Every round you had to start with a new person.
It doesn't matter.
You had to listen, dude. You had to start with a new person. So if I started a round, let's say at some point I had to start a round, I would have to tag out.
Sure.
So I would have to
then
fight
you
for
tag
a minute and 55 seconds, and then a tag.
Yes, it's left. Such an exploitable rule.
Listen. Well, they did the same thing. So women's teams ended up winning gold. Women's was Katana, Keely, and Angel Vickery. They won gold, and that was tag team also.
Okay.
Then
and please tell me that Katana fought the majority of the fight.
Katana would get up like 20 points. It was
but didn't she fight like the majority of the fight?
I think we always tried to make it where she would end the round, so that way we could tag, and then she would like.
But was she fighting the majority of the fight? Was she fighting like 60 to 70% of the fight?
To me, it seemed like it, but
good.
Keely at one point I think gave them like a 20-point lead also in another.
But that's not to say that anybody else couldn't. That's not to say that you insert any other woman. But let's just say, all right, let's say it's Peyton Fender and her. And I love Peyton. She's got the extra scoop. I would be like, Peyton, after a couple of clashes, just tag Katana. Just let it be.
I know what you mean. Like that's like the strategy side.
Like that, these rules are so exploitable.
Well, when we did the mixed team,
that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, when we did the mixed team, it was me, Keely, Katana, Derek. AP worked it so that way Keely always went out and got us the lead, and then she would tag out immediately, right?
So it was all tagged. Every team was tagged. Wow.
Every team was tagged. So then she would tag out. When she tagged, if she tagged a male, another male had to come in. The reason why I said I fought that 90+ kilogram 6'9" dude.
That's
like a
why.
bunch of times. I fought him every single time he came out. And at one point, I was like, not in a cocky way, but I want to be like, I just want to fight someone else. Like, you have another guy.
Right.
Like, put that
Yeah.
other guy out.
Right.
Like, it's just I fought him so many times. Even AP said, you guys done fought like 50 times already. Like, this doesn't even. But we went in. I would tag Katana. So my job was to get us to stack the lead and to keep their point margin low. By the time Katana or Derek will come in, their job was just to do footwork or to just, we wanted to shut them out. I mean, at one point, AP literally, we were up 30-0, and AP literally told us, if you let someone score, you're doing 100 push-ups when you get off the mat.
Damn.
We
See.
were like, I mean, that was like a
Yeah.
high, it was the level that like we were going at was just a different, like I said, it was just a different, like we won those matches super easy. And not to say that the fight was easy, we just had such a lead that for them to come back, it would have took a catastrophe. And
But see
we
that
just
no,
had a
that
high
see
level.
that's good that he said that, because you would get guys, because like we've seen it too. We've seen Raymond goof around, be up so much, just goof around, throw a spin hook kick, and then before the hook kick's done, back fist the dude. You
Yeah.
know, just do goofy stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I've seen Jason
Listen.
Borelli do. We've seen everybody do it.
Katana,
I've done it.
Katana at one point, I think, was like, Katana did some crazy kicks. I'm saying like she was spin in a circle and then throw another spin with a kick. I mean, stuff that I was like, this is like ridiculous. I think someone tried to call time, and in the middle of them calling time, Katana still kicked them. I was like, this is like ridiculous. Like we were going. I think at one
That's
point,
actually pretty good gamesmanship,
listen,
though.
No, but
To
listen,
kick
at
them
one-
before they
yeah.
can officially call time, that's
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah, at one point, I think I did me and Katana talked about me doing the Karate Kid Blitz. So I had one fight where I did it.
The crane kick blitz.
Pop
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And,
Nice.
and guess what happened right when after I did it? Got slapped
AP
right in the head.
lit
My
you up.
AP slapped me right in the head and said, "Focus, I need more points." I said, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I stopped talking. And like I said, AP was good. And that was pretty much it, man. After that, after we all wrapped up teams, like they had grand champion Keely Kernan. She won the overall for the open weight, and then Dallas Allison won the open weight for men's. So like we literally won every single grand championship, forms or weapons. And then after that, man, AP was awarded best coach of the whole entire tournament.
Sweet.
AP was
Yeah.
awarded best coach. And
Kind of
then- yeah,
kind of pretty
and then-
deservingly so.
And then
Yeah.
Noreen got a belt for her fighting cancer. If no one knows, Noreen got a belt,
Right.
man, for everything she's done. And she's like I said, she's a warrior. I mean, just her being out there, her energy. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm gonna say it because I know people are probably gonna end up talking about it at some point. At one point, after I won my second world championship, I did cry. And Noreen gave me like the biggest hug, man. Because I didn't have my family out there, my mom, my dad, no one was able to go. But like she gave me the biggest hug, man. So that's why I said like WMAC, it was like a family affair when we were out there. So next year is gonna be in England. 2025 is gonna be in Birmingham, England, if I'm correct. The qualifier for WMAC is gonna be in March. So everybody be on the lookout. We have that coming in March, and then I think they have a tournament paired with the International Martial Arts Festival in Daytona.
Word?
In Daytona, they're gonna have
Yeah,
a
that's
WMAC
happening.
tournament.
October 25th, 26th. Yeah.
Oh
That
man,
week.
D Everett says she has that ugly cry pic. Yeah, I know D. But it was like I said, man, it was amazing. And then the one thing I could also say, I also want to make sure I say this out loud, man. Like the whole entire team acted like a team. So a lot of the people I didn't know when I was going out there. And then also, you know, a lot of the guys that when we went out, not Birmingham. Details on the locations will be announced soon. Sorry, Prez, my bad. But the one thing I will also say is a lot of the guys, you know, I'm sure you guys know when you go to international competition, that might be the first time you're talking to people because you guys are competitors the whole entire time.
Word.
Right.
That was some of my first time talking to like Derek, Dallas, Anthony. Like we don't talk when we're at tournaments because we're always going against each other. And not that there's a hatred.
100%.
We're just trying to win. And when we got over there, man, we got so close, like all of us. I mean, to the point that like every night we were up to like 4 a.m. in Coach AP's room. Not because we're goofing around, because we're just talking. And you guys know, when you go on those trips, you start talking karate. You guys start talking shots. Everyone starts learning from each other, picking each other's brain. And we just went out and just had like such a good time. So the one thing I want to say, man, is like everybody took care of everyone. AP, Noreen, Sierra, like everyone was looking out for each other. It felt like a real family affair. And then as much as success we had on the mat, we had like so much fun off the mat. I mean, the laughs, the memories, like it's stuff that I'm gonna take with me forever, man. It was like such a good time.
Okay. Well, speaking of taking it with you forever, take us there. What kind of fun did you have off the mat, Angel?
So I would say, man, there's a few of them. One of the ones I want to talk about is we went to a Mexican restaurant, right? And when we went to a Mexican restaurant, underneath the Mexican restaurant, we kept wondering why everybody kept going downstairs. We're like, what is going on here that everyone keeps going downstairs?
Got that secret sauce for them tacos, man.
We found out there was a club underneath. So it was me, Speedy, Katana, Ski, Dallas, and Justin was there, and Anthony Tate. We ended up going down there just to go see. Man, there was a guy there that looked like Manny Pacquiao and tried dancing with all of us.
Stop.
And he was drunk out of his mind. I'm saying, like, he tried dancing with us. I mean, to the point that I was like, I gotta leave, man. I can't take this serious. That was a crazy experience. Another crazy experience that I will say, man, is we were kind of like rock stars over there. And I say that in the sense of like, people, I guess, kind of knew what we were there for. When they saw Americans walking down the street, like we got stopped everywhere. Me, Derek, Dallas, everywhere we went, we got stopped. People
stopped and what?
Just want to talk to us, take pictures with us, like whatever it was.
Get the heck out of here!
I swear to God. And the reason
they think you were a famous hip hop star or something. You know, is that what it was?
Hey, listen, Jeff, here goes to my story. This is the other story I'm gonna tell that I can tell on air. That is crazy. I will say, man, at one point, we're in a restaurant. It's me, Derek, Dallas, and Anthony. And there's two guys next to us that keep looking at us and keep pointing, and then they keep talking. So one of them says, "Are you from America?" And everyone looks at me, right? They're like, "Angel, you answer." And I'm like, "Come on, man." Like, so I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, my God, Americans. Oh, what are you here for?" They're like, "You're here for fighting?" I was like, "We're like, yeah." They're like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. Oh my God, we have to take pictures." So then they said,
"This is fantastic."
They said, "Are you part of gang?" And we said, so now we're sitting there. We're all sitting there. We're like, huh? And he's like, "Gang, you part of gang?" So Anthony, who's 17, he's young. He said, he means we're part of a team. Yeah, we're a part of a gang. And we're sitting there, and they go, "Oh, gang, like poof, 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 gang, gang." And we're like, no, not a part of a gang.
They were celebrating that?
So then one of us sitting there goes,
"Heck is life, man. They got gangs out there too. What the heck's going on?"
They said, "You part of gang?" And he goes, "Sometimes." And we both were like, all of us were like, so I'm sitting there, I go, let's just get our food and go home. It's not even worth it staying out. It's late. It's like 10 o'clock at night. We're all done fighting. I had like a black eye. Everyone's bruised. I said, bro, this is not the time for us to even go out. Like, let's just grab our stuff and go.
Yeah, you got to have your wits about you. You don't know just because they're all celebrating you and cheering. You don't know what's around the corner, and you don't know that culture, and you don't know how fun and bubbly everything looks and feels. You don't know what's around the corner, man.
So I'm sitting there, and I told everybody, I said, listen, let's not stay here longer, because God forbid we walk out. They think we're part of a gang.
Smartest thing. Smart.
So literally, everybody, we told the person, grab our food, we're gonna go. We grabbed our stuff, we walked out, and then while we were walking, someone at an ATM was like, "Oh my God, Americans, I love America. Are you from New York City? I want to go to New York." Like, they were just, it was crazy, man. It was just nuts. It was just nuts, man. So like that, all part of that stuff in terms of like the WMAC experience, like it was amazing. Like I said, I can't say nothing bad. Like, it was the best term I've ever went to, the best time, all the guys, the camaraderie, like, and then the best part about it is like, you know, everyone has fun when they're winning, and we all were like winning. We're all having each other's back. We're all sitting there, like we all realized we had a job to do. So the one good thing is like the veteran leadership. There's some young guys, some older guys, some people that have been around the block a lot, some people that are just stepping into their greatness. Like, it was all there, so we were all able to do our thing.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Dude, when you go and like things like that where people are like, "Oh man, you're from America," or "Oh man, you're from whatever town," and you could say whatever you want right now.
I never gave my real name. They were like, "Where you are?" Like John.
No, Angel.
Like John.
Take it a step further. All right, who are they to know? Because they don't know the sport.
Oh, you're gonna say
that you don't play like Major League Baseball.
I'm LeBron James.
Don't say that because they know basketball. Basketball's a world. If you were to say like, yeah, I'm a left-handed pitcher for the Phillies. How they don't even know what the sport is.
Yeah, and then they look me up, and then they find me back at that restaurant with gang.
Whatever.
I'm good. I don't need gang, man. But,
yeah, but that's the thing is you want to get out of there, right? Be like, yeah, I know. I'm here with my people. Security's just around the corner. They're just hanging out. I just told them we just wanted to hang out for a little bit. Yeah, we won the World Series not that long ago. It's a baseball tournament. It's kind of like, but it's all right. It's all good. Yeah, I've been with them for a while, but it's all good. But I told them just to hang back. You got to do something.
I can tell that Alex will be the one that we go out there and we're having altercations. Like we don't know.
I know.
What's going on.
He won't shut up.
Like,
he won't shut up.
He's telling me race for NASCAR, whatever.
That's true. Yeah.
How are they to know?
Oh man.
Oh,
so yeah,
God.
everything was good, man. Everything was good overseas.
All right. So
I'm laughing at Jim's comment.
Oh man. All right. So thanks for sharing that experience, Angel. I think it was really cool, and I think exciting for more people to find out about it,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool international events. I think everyone is getting excited about doing more, especially since things are getting, a little bit more normal. And I feel like every league is really in the United States is really pushing it, is really,
100%.
trying to come together and having, good events. So there's several that are happening over the next, few months. So we're excited to hear about, WKC, WKU, WACO, Pan Ams, and the European Games, all that. So lots going on there. One of the things that just happened, there was a lot of our fighters that were over at Flanders, which is Belgium. And again, man, lots of different people out there. I know Tyson Ray was out there. Tyreek was out there. Ojaba and his kids were out there. Enrique, Bailey, Devin Hopper were out there. I'm not sure who else. Those are the ones that I saw pictures of and that were actually out there. If you know of other people that are out there, let everybody know.
I know Jason,
that's a legit event.
Jason Latona went with his brother.
Right.
Checks out.
I want to say, I think in terms of like American side, I think that's pretty much it. At least from like how you said.
Oh, Sam saying Rashad was out there too.
Oh yeah, Rashad. Let me not. Rashad was there. Rashad was there. Yeah, he definitely was there.
Okay.
I saw pictures of him there.
Yeah,
Mom, are you saying? Wait a minute, Mom, are you saying we got family in Belgium? Get the heck out of here. Why is it that like I find out things about my family in the most random and late times in life ever? I'm 43 years old. And she's just saying this now over a live podcast. What the heck? Continue.
Hey, listen. And you know what, man? One thing you said, just really quick to touch on it. I think the good thing is we're starting to see in the States, we're wanting the international competition to come over here, and we're wanting to go over there. I think now we're all kind of like in agreement that like Europe is starting to catch up to us. If not, we're neck and neck. So now
here's the question, though, Angel.
So
do they want to come here?
No, because the rules aren't unified for them to come over here, right? But I think one thing I will say though is this: the top fighters are the ones that are coming over because they believe they can win anywhere, right? That's
all you need. You got to start somewhere.
Exactly, which is the same thing for us. Us as like the top fighters, and I'm going to exclude myself out of that conversation, but just the top fighters in America are going overseas because it's like we think we're the best. We're going to fight in that rule set. And it's kind of like what I said with the WMAC. And like, Alex, you hit on it best. It's just the style of fighting. The rules don't make a difference. Whether it's 1-point body kick, 2-point body kick, whatever. We'll fight the rules. It's just the style that we're adjusting to. That's all it
Culture.
is. Yeah, that's all. So
So let's talk again about just what's been happening a lot over there, and honestly, we see it over here. The final for the grand championship is Bailey versus Enrique, and Bailey ended up winning again. But I tell you what, man, Enrique, like, people sleep on him too much on just how good he is and how he can fight over there, over here, everywhere. And
let's say that, because I had a fair amount of criticism of him and especially Jason years ago. We can easily say he has improved dramatically.
You want to know what the reason is, though, right?
The problem is, so is Bailey, and even more.
Well,
but you know what the reason why Enrique has improved is because
there's many. I think there's many, but
the biggest one I always thought it was his activity level improved. He started becoming more active, which then it allowed for him to. One thing that Bailey is doing right now that's amazing is that he's pulling from every country he goes to. He's pulling the best from that country in terms of the tactics, the strategy. So now his game is even evolving. And I'm saying that because just with me going overseas, I had a sparring session not a couple of days ago. I felt like literally I was before, if I would see kicks, right, everyone's so quick to back up or move. Now I'm kind of like just staying there because of that. I got to see the experience. I got to see the international way. I'm like, there's some stuff that we do in America, sometimes it's not the best way to go about it. Europeans do have a good tactic. So we're blending styles. Yeah. Enrique is starting to blend a style. And what he's showing is, regardless whether it's European rules or American rules, his leg is universal. His leg is universal.
And his leg, the way his leg works, makes it hard for those tactics to be employed against him because he has such a fast body sidekick. So fast,
and it's accurate. It's
accurate.
I fought Enrique 3 times.
And if he does chamber, and come at you, he chambers high.
So step in on that. You don't want to step in on that.
You don't want to step in that, because when you do go to step in on that, that's a heel going right at your eyeball.
Here. Yeah.
Right. So then you're like,
I'm thinking of up. I'm just thinking something right now. Like, do you think, because we have some training in November with the AAU point sparring team, right? And they're trying to learn how to adapt and to do better in NASCA.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in some ways, would they do better in Europe and in Waco? I think, and really, when you think about it, because of some of them. Here's the difference. And because some of the styles, like, I still feel like an ITF style works better in a point fighting system than a Olympic style, because of just some of the kicks that they do in Olympic style are brush kicks and stuff. They wouldn't count, right? And that's what I've been trying to tell AAU and all right, let's clean this up. And I'm excited that Bailey's going to be down there for the national training camp to work with those guys. So that's going to be a big step. So really, all of us, and I'll be there 2 weeks before to work with the forms team. So we're really, trying to push these guys towards other places, right? But again, I think Waco would be a big fit for them to at least experience that different level,
I think the reason why it would be a good fit is because the pacing's slower. It gives AAU a time, because when you look at a lot of the AAU point fighters that have been coming out to NASCA, right? Right. A lot of guys that fight them, they're always going to put the pressure on the couple of seconds in the first half of the fight, rack up score. But if you ever notice, once the AAU fighter over here gets a chance to get acclimated and understands the timing, once they get their leg up, then everyone starts running around the ring because it's a threat. But now take that in a Waco sense, where now you have 2 rounds. It's a slower pace of fighting. Now they can be more methodical, and now they could put the strategies that are going to be working at the training camp and use them.
Right. Oh, that's great.
Something that I think people forget about. It's not just the pressure that American fighters have that give the Europeans such problems. It's the adjustment time that we have. Our delay in adjustments is quicker because we only fight on 1 round. So we're making adjustments constantly to to the Waco fighter that says, I have 2 rounds, I'll get him in the second round.
Yep.
Well,
that's
I think
something
also
allows
that there's so many different cadences and bounces and footworks that we are used to seeing all the time. We're used to seeing so many different kinds. And sometimes when you'll go to an overseas event, you're like, oh, all you guys kind of move the same.
It's like, because you know why? Because over there, that point or kickboxing over there and the point kickboxing, like we said, it's a universal language. Let's talk about it like this real quick. At a NASCAR tournament, I could go in and I may have a traditional Shotokan guy my first round.
Exactly.
Then over there overseas, a traditional Shotokan guy is not going to a Waco tournament unless he has that experience. He will stick in the WKF lane or the Kumite lane because that's big over there also. So for us, we're seeing more styles because we market such an open event.
100%.
Over there, they're still saying it's an open event, but if you want to be good at this, you got to follow this. There's like a way to get good, and if we follow
100%.
this mold, you will get decent, you'll get good, or you'll understand the game. I think at Uzbekistan, they had Elijah Evero over there explaining kick light, point fighting. So look at how they're even displaying the information. It's different than what we see over here. He is, but it's different than what we see over here. Over here, you know, Jeff, you know, with AFKA, at one point the fighting looked a little different than it did now.
Right.
And you and I both know that for down there. So.
Yep, definitely, man, definitely. All right, so here's one of our new segments, Sport Karate Confessions, sponsored by K-Talk Nationals. Make sure you guys go out there, November 24th, New York City. Thank you again for sponsoring Inside Scoop. And all right, Sport Karate Confessions. Who's starting out this week?
I got Angel. You got one?
You guys. No,
I got a good one. I got a good one, and I got one that I feel is relatable to everybody. All right. So make sure you guys got one. And this one is it's about myself. Okay. Confession. This is a real thing. But I don't feel like I'm alone. I just feel like I'm just saying the quiet part out loud.
All right.
Okay. Go to a karate tournament. You're in XYZ ballroom. And it's like, okay, you've been there for a little while. Now it's time to change into my uniform and gear. Angel, where are we going?
Sure. Sometimes you do it in the ring.
But where do we go?
To the bathroom.
Exactly. The most disgusting place in the entire hotel.
And some of you guys don't have socks or sandals on. You're nasty.
So you go in there and you're like, listen, if I have to go in there to pee, I feel like I just caught something. Like, it's so gross. You open the swinging door and it just smells like a urinal from Wrigley Field, right? And you're like, this is disgusting. This is horrible. And I'm just going to strip down and have my clothes on the floor. Like, what? What are we talking about? So here's the confessional. I'm going to tell you, I would say for a solid 10 plus years, maybe more. I did it right there in the middle of the ballroom. Right there, middle of the ballroom. I didn't care.
Change?
Right? Yeah, right down.
I thought you meant like you're peeing.
Nope. Just go right there and be like, I got to change. Here we go. Just right there. And
I do it all the time.
Okay, so I'm just saying the quiet part out loud. Okay. You're not supposed to say, see, what the heck is going on?
You guys are crazy because I can't do that, man. I get fined. I'll get fined so bad.
I don't give a dang. This is the thing. What are you supposed to do? Walk into the place where we've all been there, and there's 13,000 11-year-olds, right, in there, right? And it smells like there's 11-year-olds in there, right? And you're gonna like, what am I supposed to do? I don't even want to put my bag on the floor there. Like, dude, does anybody think about this? Like, you can't wash that enough. You can't. So I'm like, forget this, right? Well, I'll be right in the middle. I don't give a dang. I'm in the middle of the ring. Pop, pop, boom, right there. Now, here's the funny part. I am gonna out somebody on this. Okay. This is legit. This is totally on these lines. Okay. So one time, Ahmed Farouzi and I, all right, this is when he was on, this is like his second time on Team NK, right? When he went on WKF, well, first he was on Team NK, and it was like, did the WKF thing. Then he was with us for a while before he went to Wazoo. Well, he's with us, and I don't know what happened. Like he forgot his pants or something. He didn't have his pants. And so he wanted to wear, he's like, yo, can I wear your pants? And so I gave him my pants. But then I looked, I'm like, I gave him the wrong thing because I always had 2 uniforms, right? I had like, this is in the rec suit days also, all right?
Those days.
This is not the best, right? But if you wore them now, if you wore a rec suit now, it'd be like wearing baggy jeans in 1994. That's what it would look like.
I don't care what anyone says.
That's what it looks like. It totally does. But anyway, right? So I gave him the wrong pair, and I'm like, yo, man, I need those pants. And he's like, I can't change right here. And I'm like, dude, who the frick cares? Just drop down. And he's like, no, I can't. He's like really getting agitated. And I'm like, oh man, ain't nobody give a deal. Like, you really want me to do like the cover you with stuff? Like, come on, man. Who fucking cares? And he goes, no, like I don't wear normal underwear. I'm like, yo, but you got something on, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, then what? Dude, what's the problem?
He wears a thong to fight.
Yep.
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, you just put that out there, Alex? Oh my God.
And so, listen. So I am like, no, this is real life. This is what's happening, right? And it's not like a thong. No, it's not a thong. It's not that. But it was like high. It was like high briefs or something like that. So I am like, so once he did it, and I'm like, yo, what? This is real life. And he goes, dude, when I wear these, I always win. I'm like, well,
he wants to be more aerodynamic.
I mean, if you always win,
yeah.
Oh right. God. Oh God.
So anybody ever have? Let's just say let's throw this one out there. Anyone ever have like a lucky pair of boxers or underwear that they always wore or used to?
I did. I had a pair.
I did too. And you know what mine were? Mine were
did
these.
You wash them?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Just wear those things until
mine
it like.
Mine were like these super heavyweight, like they had like cows and bulls on them and stuff. They were not comfortable. They were they were like way too heavy. All right. And like warm, like for winter time. And I would be wearing them under my white gi pants. Everybody could see.
They were like
that
almost
was
like
for about
fleece material.
8 years. Yeah, from like fleece, exactly. They were like fleece material, bro. All right.
Yeah, someone make a heavyweight version of boxers.
So
me,
that was like,
oh man,
12 to like 18 or something. So
my confession's actually a forums confession.
I don't know if KTSC wants to sponsor this one, but they just did.
I was thinking that too.
Hey, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna talk. I actually want to talk about KTOC Nationals right after. So my confession will be it's like a forums confession. So Jeff, you're probably gonna laugh. Alex, this is something like you would probably do. So when I was doing forums, especially when I first started out at a NASCAR tournament, I would douse my gi in water so that way the snap would be way bigger, right?
What?
But then
if you soak it in water, how does the what?
Because when you snap it, it's gonna make a loud pop. Jeff, you know.
Yeah, have you not watched Joey Castro compete? That's all he ever does, bro.
So then at that time, I think I competed against Ariel a few times. And I was like, well, there ain't no way I got a shot in hell to get him, right? So then one tournament, I got so much trouble. I put baby powder on my uniform. So when I did the first snap, it went poof. And I made it look like I broke the uniform. And then my brother said, don't ever do that shit again, bro. He said, don't ever do that again, man.
Funny that your brother said that.
So I did baby powder one time. It was that, and there was one time me and my brother went against each other in forums for like 1 year because the way our age worked out, we were in the same division. And there was 1 year I thought about doing that because we were both
Just
in
to
the
mess with
grand.
them?
Because we were both in the grand, and there ain't no way I'm gonna beat them. So I was like, well, I might as well. I gotta go all out to try and get this dub. And then I thought about it, and I was like, I really don't want that car ride home. So I said, I think I'll just take my L swiftly, and I'll go win the fighting grand, and I'll just call it a day, so I don't have to deal with it. But that would be like that was my confession. And one thing I want to say, man, about KTOC coming up, I gotta give credit to Sue and Rick. They put on a tournament, man, that I think has stood the test of time. And at one point when people didn't support them, or when the tournament was shaky, or the one thing I gotta say is, man, they're constantly trying to improve. You know, like they brought in USA Sport Karate to help run their tournament. And if people don't know, like to have USA, Jeffrey stole my boxers. What the heck?
Oh, Dad. Thanks, Dad.
So one thing I will say, man, is that if you guys don't know, like in New York, to bring in another league to help run a New York tournament is almost like taboo. Like you don't do that at all. Like that's like unheard of. So the fact that they brought in USA Sport Karate, like they're trying to elevate the game. And man, like they give back to sport in a lot of different ways that people don't even know. Like in so many different ways they give back to the sport. So one thing I want to say, man, is if people are able to get out to KTOC Nationals, if people are able to be out there and like compete, it's a good tournament, man. You get people from like actual different countries. You get people from different states because it's like a big tournament. And I know like for us in terms of like our local, that's like a super regional. That's like it. Like if you're from that New York area and you fought in the New York area, that's like a belt. Like you got to have that under your belt. Like you're not even in the conversation if you don't got that one under your belt. That's like a huge tournament. So like that King of New York, like some of those are just the big ones. Jeff, I've seen you go a few years.
Yeah, I've been several times, and you know, I brought students up there, and my student Aaron Bailey won the grand championship there one year. So
did.
a lot of good, you know, just amazing. To me, honestly, I feel like it's taken over like Twin Towers. I mean, honestly, like to me, it's just as big.
And
it's
that's
just as good.
exactly
why.
Point. And that's exactly what I'm saying. That's why I want to give Sue and Rick their flowers. I really do, because that tournament is like, you know, people have advertised this and they say it's the premier martial arts event or whatever. Right. When they say that, that's like that's a fact. That's like a statement. That's a true statement. It is the premier martial arts tournament event. Whether you do traditional kata, traditional weapons, kabuto, fighting, kickboxing, grappling, like Kung Fu. You have everything there. Kung Fu, you have it there. And that's
is it Angel? Is it the best tournament in New York, or the biggest tournament in New York?
Biggest, between him and Jesse, and between that tournament and Jesse's tournament, but that is like without a doubt probably the biggest tournament in New York. The juniors that they get to go to that tournament is ridiculous, because you got to also remember that tournament doesn't just pull in NYC. It pulls in Philadelphia. It pulls in Delaware. It pulls in upstate New York. It pulls in some people from Boston go down, Connecticut,
the New England area too. Yeah,
New Jersey. Like we all go there. Like I have to I say it. Yeah, thanks, Sam. Like I say it in like a serious like sense, man. Like that's like a tournament. If you look, me, Bailey, Tyreek, Tyson, Brandon, all of us that are adults now, we were competing at that as we were kids. Like that's like a tournament that's like we still go to because it's such a staple. And like, you know, I give them credit, man. They don't even need to be a NASCAR World Tour event, and they get World Tour competition. They get that type of competition. So
exactly.
I just want, so I gotta say that, man. For anyone that's thinking about going out there, man, make sure you get out there. Like that tournament is.
Yeah, it's always a good one. Yeah, I mean, it's always a hard time of year for me to get out there, so I'm kind of sporadic. But I've always tried to support them in any way. I think one year I did like a ring sponsor or whatever. And I think I did the same thing one year when I had my tournament for Philadelphia. Philly Pro-Am and stuff. So things like that just to kind of help, you know, but yeah, I mean, they always do a great, an amazing job. So,
them with Maggie Messina, they do a lot of good things for the sport, man. They really do.
Definitely. All right. So that was a good one, man. That was a fun show. Again, we got lots going on, man. We got Diamond's coming up. It sounds like several qualifiers next year are going to be in Ohio, right? So because today got announced, Waco USA Nationals is going to be a part of the Arnold Classic, and the Kumite Classic is coming back. So that's going to be
awesome. The Kumite Classic coming back.
Wait, hold on. That's coming back? I didn't even hear about
it.
Yeah. So it's going to be the Kumite Classic is going to be the karate side, the martial arts side of Arnold Classic, right? So there's going to be the Waco Nationals part. There's going to be some other organizations a part of it that people are working on.
Kumite and Waco are going to be running the same time, but they're separate things. Am I right?
No, not really separate things. It's just Kumite is like the thing that oversees all the martial arts side. Okay, but Waco Nationals is going to be there as well. I think there may be a Taekwondo organization. There may be a traditional karate organization, kind of all under one unit there under the Kumite Classic banner. So that's, because Bill is, the president of the tatami side. So they're working on that. And then Singao is going to have a wushu section there as well.
That's so dope. That's so dope, man.
It's going to be cool, man. And I think there's a big event there in August too. So lots of people going to be supporting and working on it, and lots of cool announcements coming up. So, but yeah, man.
Angel, did you ever hear the Sengao show? Did you ever listen to or watch that one?
Yeah, I did.
It was freaking wild. It was an out there show, man.
Yeah, I know. I know. Trust me.
Said there's only like 5 of us. Brett said, shout out Delaware. There's only 5 of us. Oh, man. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will see everybody next week. And obviously, we'll
do, and then it'll be right there, man.
We will see.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, I will not. Well, I will actually see you next week, Alex. Yeah, like next week, I will see you. Yeah. Next Thursday.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, Diamonds,
not this
bro.
Thursday,
Diamonds.
next Thursday. I know. Not this Thursday, next Thursday. Yeah.
Angel, we'll see you this year.
Good time. Yeah, Angel, you gonna be at Diamonds?
No, actually, I'm not gonna be able to make it at Diamonds.
Shut up.
Listen, man. Listen, you don't understand. I want to go, especially with how good I've been. I've been feeling good, man. Like I feel like I'm fighting right now. I'm peaking. I'm doing good. But like literally, I was going for so long from work, they would not let me leave.
Yeah, I agree.
For me to take a flight to get out there for just Saturday was like $700. Like it wasn't even. I couldn't even swing it. So I was like, listen, I'll get back next year. I promise you guys. So
you got to get creative.
Awesome. Listen,
you gotta get creative.
Alex, I've tried doing this whole mileage thing. People just don't have miles. I don't know what else to do.
No, there's other. I know we had that conversation. We had that conversation. But you got to be more. You got to be more proactive. You don't do that.
Right.
Nah. Right. And yes, they do. Just talking to the wrong people. But anyway, you got to get creative. You can figure it out.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks, K-Talk. Thanks, Angel. Alex.
Got you guys. Thank you.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss.
I'm Angel Diaz. See you guys.